Thank you, Angel, and Heidi ho, everyone. How you doing? It's Thursday already. How do we get there? Oh, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and here we are. Great that you could join us. I see there's still a few people coming into the room, obviously, and it is early days. So welcome to those that are here. Hi, Aaron. G'day, Paresh. Hope you're both well, and everyone else that's coming into the room as well, and you guys on YouTube, if you are there as well, welcome to you. It's nice to have you on board as always. Let's get stuck in and have a look and see if we're going to trade the pound today. Hit our target yesterday with the breakout trade, which began where? Up here, 3 pips under that candle, and 220 something pips later, we hit that target, which is the red line. Do we trade it today is the question as a breakout. Now, the range is pretty clear. We drop our take profit area from yesterday. Let me get rid of this channel. No, I don't want to get rid of that channel because I'm using it for analysis. What am I expecting today? Maybe a little bounce, but that's irrelevant. We're looking to see if the breakout's worthy of us or if we're willing to trade it. It's kind of broken out already, hasn't it, yesterday? Again, it went south, which of course got us our take profit. Just a little less inclined to say it's going to break out of this today because one big move, 2 big moves. Are we going to get a third? Don't know. And if we don't, how deep is the retracement going to be? Is it going to be back to the breakout area? Is it going to take us into the long when we don't want to be taken into a long? All of those questions, of course, are yet to be answered. But I don't think it's a good place to trade a breakout from. If I was up here, maybe I'd think about it. But no, I don't like it. I'm going to stay out. I think it's more likely that we get consolidation and or retracement today than it is that we get a breakout, another breakout, which would be the 3rd day in a row. Of course, it could happen. G'day, Lewis. Hi, Paresh. Of course, it could happen. But yeah, just not willing to go in there. Those of you in YouTube, by the way, you can join us in the room, in the Zoom room, as it were. I think Angel will put a link in the box very, very shortly. In the chat box, that is. If you want to join us in the room, in the Zoom room, where it's much, much easier for you to ask questions because we see them instantly, basically. You can also have a chat to us by opening your microphone. We'll allow that to happen. You can share charts with us, whatever you want to do. It's your show, after all. Trading buddies. You're our trading buddies. So let's treat it as such. Okay, so we ignored the pound as a breakout trade for today, having hit targets by only a few pips, but we hit target. What else did we have going on? Yesterday, we were trading Kiwi Swiss short, and we traded underneath that bar there. We got the breakthrough of this low, and we got TP1 pretty easily. That's a beautiful bar. Today, as you might expect, we're getting a little bit of a pullback. I've got stops at entry on that trade. And the reason for that is I've also got Aussie Yen running, which is a very similar trade. It's kind of a risk off currency versus a risk on currency, or the other way around, whichever way you prefer. So I've left one go, Aussie Yen, which also hit first take profit, which means, of course, that I'm trading for free. Stop loss has now been moved to a safe place. So I'm willing to let that one go to its stop. And if that's the case, it'll be a break-even trade. But with Kiwi Swissy, look, I think monthly pivot is a real target here for second take profit, which is what I will do. I'll take another half off if I hit the monthly pivot. But I don't know that that's the end of the section. Who's calling this long? Lewis, wash your mouth out with soap. Lewis, of course, is a very, very good directional radar person. Where is he seeing the long from? He's, I don't know that he's got a trend line going up there. Let me see the weekly. Nah, I'm still seeing it. Maybe a pullback. Certainly, I can see that. And if that's the case, we might look for yet another. Actually, it might be there now. Let me move that trade line. Let's go over here. Move that to there. Move that to there. And I've got another. It's getting bigger, I've got to say. It's getting a much, much bigger false break, but it's there. Tough to go short here, I've got to say, if you're not already in the trade. But it might be a reasonable thing for me to do on a smaller time frame, given that I can only win on the trade that I'm in with the stops at entry and already taken profit. So I'm going to watch that area. And if I do get a signal to go short, even this bar here, if it was to close maybe here somewhere, a little bit further down, I might consider that in 2 hours' time by trading it short. Hourly, yeah, probably want to see a break of resistance, a false break of resistance on that. It, as you say, Lewis, it could well be that we've got a little double bottom sitting here and a higher low being formed, and it could go long. But I don't know that it's going long for a long time. I still think my analysis of false break is pertinent. And if I see that set up, I will be looking to trade it. That's true. What else? With the Aussie Yen, nothing to do here. Again, we're in the safe zone. And very, very similar, really. As I said before, it's a risk-off currency versus a risk-on currency. So if we have a flip in market sentiment, then we'll have a flip in the direction of this as well. But really, what I saw here on Aussie Yen was not just that. There is, in my opinion, a clear range. Maybe not as deep as that. Maybe up here somewhere. But I can definitely see that price is happy in this area, and I have no reason to think that it can't come down any further. Certainly, I'll look at the pivots again as a potential take profit area. I've got a few to look at, but Ash has come into the room. Let's see if he's got a trade for us. G'day, bud.
Hello, mate. Well, there probably will be a trade on the FTSE eventually. I'll bring you the charts. I'm still. I'm settling with the short on this one, but I've as I said before, when I get into the hedge situation, I switch my time frame. So I'm on a long term one here, but I might take a little long as well. But let me just show you what we got. Outperformer, the FTSE of the equities. You know, we've seen the Nasdaq, the S&P, and the Dow come down, but the FTSE is in pretty good shape. And I was just looking at silver as well, which is also something that we should probably discuss. But this is where we are with the FTSE. Now, if I can bring this in, I'm sure I've got, maybe I don't. No, that's not good.
Hi, John. Hi, Paul P.
This might be okay. No, don't like that either.
Hi, so Siok. Is it Siok? Am I pronouncing your name correctly? If not, just open your mic and tell me I'm an idiot.
There we go. There we go. This is where the FTSE is right now. So you can see that the I've got a couple of longs in the market anyway, which is just hedging out some of these shorts down here. But that's by the by. You know, if let's talk about today and what looks like it could happen. There's a little bit of weakness coming into play, but that does suggest that the monthly pivot could get seen again, and then we'll see if the traders start to move to the upside. But what I've been looking at here with the FTSE is, where's it likely to go to if this does hold? And there's a pretty good level up here. When we look at this on the dailies, this area here, this horizontal line up here, looks like it's on its own initially. But then when we start to put the trend lines in actual fact, let me do this on a clean chart, because it's a lot easier and easier to see.
G'day, James. Spiffo, eh, mate? Spiffo. Come into the room if you want. Just there's a link just below your name.
There we go. So if we look at this here, little trend line up there, and we put this horizontal level up here. And the final thing that I would do here is just create the inverted head and shoulders neckline and shoulder. And it looks like it's somewhere in this area here. So it looks like these are the two shoulders down here. And just for anybody who's not familiar with the inverted head and shoulders, it looks like we've got this. There's the head. So left shoulder comes down to the head, makes a right shoulder. There's the neckline. Now, the rule of thumb is, well, it's not the rule of thumb. The rule I like to use is to measure between the shoulders and the neckline to get a assumption of how much upside there could be if the neckline is broken. So if I do that and bring this level in here, that gives us bursting out somewhere in this area, and that gets us very close to this upper trend line. And this level may well be a little bit higher. Let's just do this. Let's see if it is a little bit higher, because that looks like we could use these here. And it looks like we could use these closing price, that closing price, and that high there. So it could be that we got something like this going on. Either way, it's going to get us. Around about another 1%. There's the break there. So it gets us pretty close to that level. That horizontal level may hold as well. But if we look at this here, and we do see actually there's a little horizontal level along here as well. And interestingly, this is a wider head and shoulders pattern. So there's the left shoulder, there's the head up there, and it might come up here and just have a very high right shoulder. That's a possibility. So FTSE looks pretty hot, man. It looks like it may well go to there. The question that I've got to ask myself is, how am I going to trade it? Am I going to try and trade it long to that area? Or am I feeling like it's a little bit toppy in this area, and we are at the closing day of the month, and it might be better just to come back tomorrow and fight with a clear head. You
normally like the closing day of the month, don't you? Isn't that your thing?
I do, mate. I do, because it often creates a bit of volatility. So yes, I do. The problem I've got right now is that I don't have. I've got a lot of trades on that need managing. So I'm in a slightly sort of different mode now. I've got to make sure that I don't get caught up in the volatility, which does inevitably create excitement, within, and when you get too much excitement within, you make some pretty rubbish choices. So I'm
a lot of work.
Yeah, exactly, man. And if I get caught in another long up here and it starts to come down, then it's kind of going against my longer term view. So I'm not necessarily going to take the longer here. I don't know yet. I might do, but we'll see. But if it does go up, I've got plenty of room, and this is again, and I always kind of drill this home, because of the lack of leverage that I've used. I've got lots of room before I'm in any sort of trouble. So this could come up here, and my idea right now is that I might just let it go and take another short here. But I might try and squeeze something out of it. I'm not 100% yet, mate. I haven't really decided what to do. The pound has really probably enabled the FTSE to outperform some of the other equities. Now, and I'll show you what I mean by that. Other equities. So we got the FTSE, pretty good. If we're looking on the daily chart, it's had a pretty good run. This is in an uptrend. You got the S&P, completely the opposite. This has started to create some lower lows and lower highs. So that's in a downtrend. NASDAQ, exactly the same thing. But the FTSE's been the outperformer. And if we think about, why would that possibly be? Well, it could be a couple of things. I mean, the FTSE is a very, very cyclical market, but then the S&P has got that flavor about it as well. So it may well be that argument doesn't really hold water. But look at the pound. Now, if you look at any currency, and because the pound it's not been going down, it's been tanking. So
looks
because
like
the pound has been,
to me, mate.
Yeah. Well, you traded the breakout of this yesterday, right?
Yeah, it's closed now. We got it.
It's closed. So this looks like the potential area of support here. on the pound. We're not that far away, which again doesn't make the FTSE all that attractive for any more upside. It feels like it's had a bit of a run. And yesterday I was talking about a potential exhaustion area, and we might be getting close to that. You know, there might be an argument to be made that the exhaustion could be there on the FTSE. So, because of where I'm at with the hedging, I've got to be very careful of my mindset. You know, I've got to be thinking more about that than what I am going to be looking normally to trade with, because the trades are stacking up, and I kind of want to get rid of some stuff. So I'll make a judgment call later on. But if you look at any indice, and this is for the guys in the room, if you look at any indice, then when you compare it to its currency, then certainly when it comes down to the FTSE, the pound, if the pound is getting weaker, then it's going to put pressure on those UK international companies that make money abroad. Sorry, if the pound's getting weaker, then it's going to enable those companies that sell abroad to be more attractive, because the domestic currency means that international investors will come in and say, you know what, we get more bang for our buck over there, so we'll buy some UK companies. So when the pound starts to do this, then it starts to explain a little bit of why the FTSE strengthens in the way that it does. And it won't be the case if it's kind of creeping forward. But as I say, the pound's having a bit of a rough old time right now. I mean, again,
isn't it? Yeah.
Head and shoulders on this as well, mate. We got inverted head and shoulders on the FTSE, you know, which is quite interesting that we get the absolute reverse of this. Inverted head and shoulders on the FTSE, head and shoulders on this. This is suggesting that we'd probably get something like, let me see what we could assume with the pound and where it could go in accordance to the head and shoulders. That looks relatively equal, and I could get my equal tool out, but let's just use this for now. It's a rough kind of.
You leave your equal tool where it is.
It's a rough estimate. If the pound breaks and closes below that point, that's suggesting the measured move is going to lead us down to around about 130, 135, 1.305, something like that. Now we want to make sure that this coincides with another level. So let's just have a look at the monthly. It's a bit low there, so I'm not sure whether that would be the one. Maybe this one down here would be the area that I'd be aiming for. So yeah, around about the 130 level on the pound, I think looks achievable. It looks like it's possible if the pound continues to go on this particular vein right now.
There's a bit of sentiment cycle in there as well.
Yeah, there probably is. What the over exuberance up here?
No, I think you've just climbed the wall of worry.
Climbed the wall of worry, yeah. GDP numbers out of the UK today were very good, actually.
So that looks like a good buy zone at the top side of that trend line.
Yeah, do you know the problem with the UK now, mate, is that Brexit is starting to hit. You know, we are starting to see the effects of Brexit really kind of come to the fore, and it is inevitably causing a big problem. The lack of drivers to deliver fuel in the country, it really is an issue.
Yeah, that's incredible, isn't it?
Yeah. And I think across the board, you know, people are you know, getting concerned. They're getting really concerned.
I've got a license. Maybe I could get a job, eh?
Oh well, you'd be welcome right now. There's no question. You'd be more than welcome at this particular stage. So it's something
that a bit too much on me.
Well, they're just throwing it open. What I hear today, Dominic Raab came out and said that they should employ low offending prisoners to come and do the driving. So you got Boris Johnson on one side saying, stop panic buying, there's no problem here. And then Dominic Raab saying, we should just get the low offenders to come and do some driving. I mean, if that's not panic inducing, I don't know what is. I mean, low offending.
They finish up in France or something.
Well, I tell you what, yeah, probably.
The truckload of fuel.
Yeah, the other thing is that
have I got some cheap fuel for you?
Yeah, well, there's a lot of low offenders that have got driving offences. So what are they going to be in the queue as well? How's this going to work? I'm all in for getting prisoners to do some work that maybe other people don't want to do, but surely that creates work in itself. I mean, you know, that could create a problem. You're basically giving them a vehicle, and you know, I don't know. Does it only take one of them to break the rules, and then all of a sudden the kind of police force is called out, which probably cost a whole bunch of money to kind of go and do any kind of smash and grab there. As you say, you're giving them a load of fuel. I don't know how long they've been incarcerated. I don't know if you don't drive for a year, do you start to lose it a little bit? And then you're given an HGV vehicle as well to go and drive. I mean, I just think it's the most ridiculous idea that I've heard come out. And it just feels like clutching at straws. Everything feels like clutching at straws with this current situation. So
yeah, that's not good.
No.
Why is it that every now and then we laugh a lot at British Parliament?
Because they're idiots.
It seems to be the case.
Yeah, there's no other explanation.
Okay, so you've convinced me that the pound isn't going long anytime soon.
Well, I don't know about anytime soon because things change so quickly, but certainly not today, that's for sure.
There's a nice little range being formed there.
Yeah. I think it could. Well, this trend line looks achievable, and that would get near to where the head and shoulders pattern would probably give us that measurement as well. If we were to look at that one more time, let's deal with our equal tool this time instead. Looks like it's. Oh, actually, looking at this, it might well be on top of it. Yeah.
I said no to the breakout today, but if it stays in this little consolidation area for tomorrow, then I think it probably would be another nice breakout trade, but not today.
Yeah, I think you could be right, mate. I don't know. It certainly seems like there's some downside here. FTSE just giving a buy signal by the looks of things. Let's have a look.
That's a good question, Paul P. What happened to the usual drivers, mate? Why are they not working? They got a better offer.
No, they all went home. Brexit happened. They all went. All right, bye then. We'll go back to our native. Well, but places like Poland and the Czech Republic.
So nobody in Britain can drive trucks.
This was always the problem, mate. Is that well, they can, but the British, the reason that people from the EU were so important, the reason that freedom of movement was so important for the UK economy was that there were jobs that British people just won't do. Nurses, drivers, bankers, even.
Sounds familiar, actually. That's a common thing in Australia as well.
Right. So these guys will do it because they'll hook up in a house of 4 to 6 people, pay low rent, go and earn decent money, send it back home again, and then in 3 years' time they go back and have a really nice life in their native country. So yep. It worked. The system was working. But then the British people, I want to call them bigots, but maybe some people were just maybe it wasn't that for everybody. But there were certainly some idiotic people that kind of came out and said they're taking all our jobs, and now we're seeing that these are the jobs you don't want. So unless you're going to start taking the jobs, they haven't actually taken any jobs that were being taken by British people anyway. The British people would prefer to take it from the state system rather than go and do nursing or driving or these jobs that are available. Yeah, it's a ridiculous situation. It really is a ridiculous situation, and inevitably Boris Johnson's government, who campaigned for Brexit, are now finding that the chickens are coming home to roost, and who knows where this ends. And I really do think, when you're saying about laughing at the UK Parliament, I wonder where the UK will be in 5 years' time, because if it gets to the point where this government has damaged this country so much and they haven't found the answers to fill the gaps that Brexit has caused, why would the EU open their arms and say, you know what, come back under the same terms, which were pretty good? We didn't have the single currency. There was many things that we had that many other countries in the EU just didn't enjoy. But if Britain starts to go down in the pecking order, so you get the likes of Germany, France, maybe Spain, maybe Italy, all overtaking the UK as an economy, then they'll come and say, look, yeah, okay, you can join, but you've got to take on the single currency. You've got to do this, and this, and it'll make it impossible. So I'm wondering where, as I say, the UK economy is going to be in the coming years. I think it's going to be in in a pretty stressful place, actually.
Interesting.
Yeah.
You better start earning US dollars, mate. No. Anything other than that.
Well, do you know, I mean, you know,
Get paid in crypto, mate.
We have discussed where we would go if you know, if the UK did start to go down the Swanee. And because you know we talk about if we'd stay in Brighton, but we like Brighton a lot, so we wouldn't move out of Brighton. But I think, and I said the next step that I would make if I was going to move would be abroad. I probably wouldn't stay here if it wasn't Brighton.
Tassie's getting overpriced too, mate. They're all coming here.
That's all right. We'll build a little annex at the end of your garden for me.
There you go. I can build a bamboo hut. There you go.
Yeah.
So can we trade today, I suppose, is the question.
Well, I mean, well, okay, sorry, mate. That's really what I was trying to get to, wasn't it? I was talking about.
Yeah, I probably deflected as I usually do.
I don't think. Yeah, I'm not sure if it was you. I think I'm kind of in that that situation with the FTSE that it's difficult to make a decent choice because I've got so many things on the burners right now. It's managed to bounce off this level, so that there was a little scalp trade there. Is it going through this high? I'm not too sure at this stage whether it will, but so I think that there's probably another opportunity. Monthly pivot looks like the obvious point. Interesting now that this trend line is going to have to get broken unless you get a wick. So that's probably, if I was going to trade this long, then I'd probably look for price to do something like that, come down, touch and come back up again, and then form the bar up above the trend line. So that would be a decent signal, but right now it is looking pretty hot. But other signals to me suggest that that this may not be the time to expect it to break this level. So I'm not looking for it to break this particular level. We might get caught in a little bit of a crossfire. If we have a look at what is driving the market today, and what could drive the market today. Now, have you got my screen there, or are we on my sharing? Let's do that. Then we have got. So we've had a final GDP quarter on quarter from the United Kingdom, and that was really good. The decent numbers. HPIs from the nationwide, so the house price index, falling off actually quite a lot. Business investment pretty good. So all this stuff looks a little bit tricky for the pound in actual fact, but decent for the FTSE. And then really the big stuff happens later. Chicago PMIs, Fed Chair Powell testifies. And they obviously said, because there was a load of, we talked about it yesterday, it's been central bank week, and there was obviously sort of stuff said by the central bankers yesterday, which was quite buoyant for the market because the FTSE just started to fly and it hasn't really stopped as yet. So is there likely to be something said that will change that today? Who knows? I don't know, because the dollar has certainly strengthened off the back of what Jerome Powell has really been kind of saying to this point. But
is that resistance, though, I believe, or very, very close to it? That level we spoke about, I think it was on Monday. Yeah, it's pretty much there. Very close.
Right. Okay. Well, I mean, the other one I think of is interest, off the back of the dollar is silver. Now, silver has broken through some levels here, and you can see, look at that, just under these lows here. So the very, very lowest point, and and this is a monthly chart. This isn't just
yep, that's big time.
Yeah, exactly. It's not a friendly little 15-minute chart. This is a monthly chart. So these two levels are really key. And I was looking at silver earlier on, because the thing with this, with all this stuff, is that the FTSE for a long is great for short term, no doubt. But obviously now I'm switching my mentality to longer term timeframes. I'm only interested in things that are coming down. I'm not interested in things that are going up. Bitcoin had a decent bounce off the back of some of the things yesterday as well. So that's had a decent bounce to the upside. I've got a friend that keeps telling me get in, and I'm not interested in Bitcoin at these particular levels. But what I am interested in is silver, because if it can come down to near the $18 level, that's going to look really attractive for a longer term position to start buying into things, because I like things when they're unloved. I'm not really interested in things when they're kind of getting a lot of heat. I like things when they're not in, when nobody else seems to like them, but we still know that they've got a use case and they've been around for many years. You know, the kind of talk that happens of maybe this time it's different is kind of great. I like to hear that. So silver, I think, is interesting, but just a little bit further down.
Yeah, it's got to come back to that breakout level, hasn't it? Really.
I think so, and gold's the same. You know, gold hasn't really broken down in the same way that silver has, but gold down here I think would be great too. So you know, I've got the radar out, but it looks very early to kind of be getting involved in this stuff. It looks like there is some further downside. You were saying that the
yeah, that chart to me says it can go to zero almost, but you're not going to expect that. But
exactly. Well, this is the thing, mate, isn't it? Is that sort of that's what ends up happening, is that people sort of like, you know, then start to panic about this stuff like it's something new. You know, it's something that hasn't been tried, tested, and trusted over the years, and they do start to think, oh well, this time it is different. It's just going all the way down again. That's just not going to happen, because it's going to put people out of business. There's going to be a lack of supply, and as soon as there's a lack of supply and things start to shift on that front, then the likelihood is that we see gold hold and start to move up again. So I suppose it's finding that particular area.
I've just taken a screenshot of that. I'll send that to you when that happens. All right.
Yeah. I mean, I think that'd be wise personally, sweet, and that's what I'm going to be doing. You know, I'm definitely looking at gold and silver as a potential buy investment, if you like. You know, it's kind of in my opinion, investing is really important, and I think it's also really useful to kind of have, you know, both arms kind of going on when you're looking at this stuff. You know, we're traders, so it gives us great exposure to the markets, and with that exposure comes ideas of things that you can get involved in. And I'd like to get involved in this stuff, but as I say, it's still a little bit early. There's certain things that I've just got completely off the table. You know, I haven't got Bitcoin on the table currently. And I might be wrong about it, but I'm sort of happy to be, I'm okay to be wrong about it. Do you know what I mean? Nothing upsets me more in a day than when I get a bad price. It really bothers me.
Yeah, you got a bit of a thing about that. You're almost anal about that, Ash.
Well, yeah, it does. And the you know, and the issue is that it doesn't always happen. I've had a pretty bad week this week about getting the right price, I've got to say. But I'm okay because I'm protected, and it's irked me a bit. But it bothers me, you know, when I kind of pick something and I kind of see a price, and then because of thinking it's turning, you know, sort of, you know, maybe getting influence from somewhere I shouldn't.
Yes, any outside influence that comes in, and you go, oh shivers, I should listen to that.
Yeah, exactly. And this is the thing about the FTSE, you see, is that when I'm looking at this FTSE, I'm going, okay, really, I should be taking this long on, but the price bothers me, and I've already got myself into a state of work, which I don't really like to do. So now I'm sort of thinking, you know what, now's the time to step back and just go, let's get a clear head again, and just get refocused and fix it up. But you can't fix things up if all you're doing is taking trades. You know, you're sort of like, you're in taking a trade, trying to fix it, taking a trade. So sometimes you just have to sit back and say, okay, some mistakes were made. Let's stop making mistakes and kind of go to the next best thing. And the next best thing for me is to try and sell the FTSE, and I need to sell it, but I want to sell it up here. And it's, as I say, the question is, do I get involved between this level and this level? And I probably won't today, but it doesn't mean that I don't think it's going there, because I do. I think it's going to go there. I'm not sure if it's going to go there on this first time of asking, but I do think it's probably going to go there. And the thing is, if it doesn't, I'm okay. If it does, I'm okay. But I'm not okay if I get involved in an uptrend and it doesn't go there. That's when it starts getting confusing, which is why I'm sitting back today.
Happy days, mate. No problem. Yeah. I should fly through a few currencies, I suppose.
Yeah, see if you can find something instead for the gang.
Okay, I can find a cancellation at the moment. I better do that. First up, I'll look at Euro CAD because that's the only position that I wanted to enter this morning. And again, of course, on the daily chart, got this nice bounce on Tuesday. It's Thursday, isn't it? Yes. On Tuesday, which was a game changer bar, right? And then yesterday, we got an inside bar. So that immediately gives me an entry above that inside bar, stop loss below it. But price not happy with that at the moment, and euro seems to be in a bit of strife. You know what? I'm completely against this from a bias point of view because I think euro has got very little to offer, where the CAD has got plenty to offer. And of course, I'm still in that that trade from January that is short, and that's a monthly trade, of course, and the stops are way up here and in profit. So no problem taking a long here. But yeah, it is against my grain, but the setup's there. And I thought it was just a simple one-to-one trade up to the pivots, get out straight away, do nothing else. Am I going to stay with that? Probably yes. If you're interested in following it, it's at 1.8, sorry, entries at 1.4835. And my stop loss is at, can't remember the exact number, but it's 64 pips below entry. I suppose I could work that out, couldn't I? 1.4871. Yes, that would work. 4771, sorry, would be the stop loss. And I'm taking profit at 50 pips, not even one-to-one. And that's it. That's the end of the trade. That's the target. I also have, and I showed you earlier, the two trades, Kiwi Swissy and Aussie Yen, both in profit. Aussie Yen back to entry at the moment, but we have taken profit and can't lose on that trade. We're at entry on Kiwi Swiss, and of course we can only win on that. It's a matter of how much. I'm willing to get to scale into this if I get the opportunity. Just not sure where that's going to come from, to be fair, but it may well come from a false break of that trade line. So back underneath here, retest it. I think that would be another entry for me on Kiwi Swissy. The other watch list that I have for today is Euro Pound. Euro Pound, because if I go a little bit wider, you can probably see that we are pretty much banging our head on this 86.70 level, where we have for the longest time this year, since May, been unable to crack that level. So I'm looking really for a little bit of a run up, but if we don't get the run up, I'm certainly still looking for a lower high. So if I get a clear lower high on this, the 4-hour chart now, I'd be willing to trade it. I'd like to see something a little better than that, though. This is complete indecision at the moment. I'd like to see price get up to here and then give me a reversal bar. And we'll see if we can trade that down to the weekly pivot. That's Euro Pound. Swissy Yen was another. Now, we mentioned this yesterday. Lewis pointed this out, I think, yesterday. Loved the setup. Looked good. And I think it's still there. You could even choose to trade this now, I believe, if you wanted. I'm looking for a better entry, I've got to say. But there's a beautiful little tweezer top sitting there at a big confluence area. Resistance trade line, monthly pivot, support trade line. There's probably a sneaky little horizontal level in there as well. We've got a daily pivot test already. But do I have a setup? Answer, no. It's just a bit of a mess in here at the moment. Again, best case scenario for me would be to trade a false break of resistance. So if price were to break here, find any level here, I don't care what it is, then come back underneath and retest the confluence area, then that's my short. So Swissy Yen is definitely on the radar. CAD Swiss and CAD Yen are pretty much exactly the same, and they are also on my radar. This time for exactly the same reason. Similar, very, very similar setup where we've got a little bit of a tweezer top sitting there at a resistance level. Again, I'll be looking for a lower high that may well be in progress as I speak. So probably a high test bar sitting there with a green body makes sense to me. Get your entry underneath there. Your profit level's the hard part, because I don't want to trade into the low of the day without taking profit. So maybe that needs to be restricted to an hourly chart and get, yeah, haven't got a good trade line, have I? That's the only one I've got, which is kind of suggestive that I should put an entry there and put my stop loss there right now. I don't know if I'm willing to do that. 23, low of the day, 9, that's okay. What's that look like on a 30? That noise is my brain ticking over, guys. Everything's great except for this little area here. I'm going to trade it though. Where I put my stop loss is the key.
What's this one, mate? CAD Swiss. CAD Yen.
CAD Yen, yeah.
CAD Yen.
I'll have a look at the oil chart before I place this as well.
Yeah.
23. Yeah, look, it's good. I don't mind it. Levels. Entry is at 87.78. 87.78. Stop loss has to be above the current bar at 88.04. And TP1 has to be at the low of the day, which is 87.69. Okay, so I don't think I've got a CAD Yen chart, have I? No, I don't. So let's make one. And we're on a 30. We want, actually, I'll put this on the trade manager so I don't have to follow it. We're above a daily pivot going short. We'll get below the daily pivot to enter. So we can go at 0.5%. .50. Our entry level was 87.78. Oh, 87.78. Our stop loss was 88.04. And get rid of our take profit pips. We'll go to TP1. We'll get rid of 6. And we'll put in the level 87.69. And we'll take half off at that point and move our stops 9 pips from entry. Meaning that if we hit that TP1 level, we will be free trading. TP2 is disabled, it's a sell. Now, those of you who want to follow this have to do it the way I do it, which is take first profit here at the level I've given you and take half off the table and move your stop loss exactly the amount of pips you take here above your entry. So in this case, it's 9 pips. So you move your stop loss 9 pips from your entry, which means you can't lose on the trade. That is CAD Yen. CAD Swissy, as I said, was a very, very similar scenario. You could probably take your pick, or you could even trade them both if you so chose, if there is a setup. It's the same on the daily chart as CAD Yen, as you would expect. But on this one, I don't yet see an entry. You'd have to come back to here and get underneath that. So it's not as good. I think CAD Yen's the way to go. I said I'd look at oil, didn't I? So I better do that. Who? Okay. I changed my mind. I'll share that chart with you. Okay, oil is in a very, very rigorous mood by the look of it. That's the daily chart, 4 hour, what it's doing. Yeah, it's through that level, but it's got another level ahead of it. It's a fair way away. Trend line won't help me. Yeah, this doesn't look that flash now. And of course, it is the trade of the week. It is the trade of the week, Ash.
What's that?
CAD
oil?
Swiss, CAD Swiss long.
Yeah.
And I'm actually trading it short. Maybe I'm being silly. No, I'm not. I still think it's there. And while it's there, it's there. But the trade of the week is for this to go long. It's not a hedge, but if it's there, it's there. And simple as that.
Yeah.
CAD Yen I'm trading anyway, not CAD Swiss. I'm forgiven. I'll catch up.
Okay.
All right, there you go. So nothing's changed. All is well. If this hits resistance, then it does. Simple as that. And the only other one I did want to look at was, that's the UK 100. I'm going nuts. There's oil. So oil, that's right. I looked at this morning and I saw the candle here. And I said, ooh, that looks interesting. And I think I made that exact comment yesterday. I asked Ainsley the question. I said, if you got a high test bar sitting on the daily pivot, would that entice you to trade this down to the confluence area that we spoke about yesterday?
Yeah.
I don't think she was that keen on it.
Well, do you know, mate, I don't think that's her style as much as anything else. I'm not sure whether that's because she didn't believe it was going there.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Yeah.
You know, and
Okay.
this is the thing, isn't it? Because when we open up a chart and we say, do you want to go long or short here? You kind of then start going through your process and going, okay, well, I need that, I need that, I need that, I need that. Yeah, I'd go long. You know, whereas you and I could look at charts in completely different ways, and you'll be looking at the short and I'll be looking at the long.
As we
because
do,
of
yes.
the way we view trading.
Okay, I'll look at this closer. If it gets above that trend line, if it doesn't take out the high and comes back underneath here and retests it, then I'm short. I'm going short.
Let's see if there's anything out with. There's no news.
So it still ties in with my CAD Yen. I'm okay with it. I'll keep it there.
Bit of natural gas stories today, mate. Which you know might have some kind of sway on that, but there's no inventory news or anything like that with oil that I can see. Yeah, there's the commodity. Oh, there is a little commodity price year on year from Australia, but not a lot on the face of it anyway. That looks like the price action wouldn't play out.
Cool. So the only other one then is the euro, and the euro has got a little bit of interest from me, but there's always a but, isn't there? I've got a little double bottom. I've got a higher low with a candle that I like to trade. I've got an untested daily pivot.
We're not on the euro chart right now, mate.
Oh, sorry, guys. Okay. Yep. Wrong screen. There we go. So I've got a little double bottom. I've got a higher low, or you could even call it a triple bottom if you want. And if that's the case, then I'm probably still waiting for a higher low, a clear higher low. Maybe that was it. But I can't trade into the high of the day. It's one of my rules. So that's yawning there. And it's saying go, go, go. But I have to wait for the right scenario. And it's just not there yet. Maybe I get an opportunity with a false break here. That's the best case scenario. As long as I can take profit before I get to that level, I'll be happy. So that's pretty much me around the grounds. And
Lewis is saying he's expecting WTI to drop. Any reason, Lewis, apart from price action, or have you got some fundamental reason for that? It's interesting that you got another.
I mean, that could be the first question in the quiz.
Yeah. Which direction is WCI going?
Yeah. Got that, John? Don't change it, mate. Don't change it. We're right on top of it. So it's all good. Lewis will inspect that question when you or your answer when you put it in there a little bit later on. But it is quiz time, and
Yes.
enter the quiz master. There he is.
Here he comes.
Sorry,
Magnus Magnuson.
I was just laughing in the background.
What for?
Well, it's just it's just a comedy of errors.
Oh, okay. Well, sorry, we tried to get it right, you know.
No. I was just listening to the conversation, and our guy, some friends of mine, just goes like, 1 minute you're driving a tank in a war zone, and the next minute you're coming home to chill out. Oh, by the way, mate, no, you're not. Get over there and drive that petrol tanker. What is that? We've got
No, you mean
fighters.
the comedy of errors of the UK government, you mean?
It's expensive training drivers, and shock horror. They're not. I don't understand how they can be so naive that they didn't think they were going to have a driver's problem. There's always a driver's problem because of the pay sometimes isn't great.
Yeah, well, do you know, mate? At this particular stage, drivers are getting very well paid.
Yeah, they are now.
So, yeah. Things have changed quite drastically. A friend of mine's a driver, and he keeps getting pay rises. So they're definitely trying to keep them there. But it's just, as you say, it's a comedy of errors because it's just something else on top of something else on top of something else, and it's really interesting, isn't it? Because the market at this stage, anyway, is certainly the UK market is ignoring the issues, is continuing to buy things up, no problem at all. FTSE has actually now broken to the upside, which I hope it would break.
I'm a little bit more positive than most people about the UK though, because I'm from the UK and I know that it's got a good road system, it's well maintained, and the rail system isn't. I know it's sometimes a bit of a mess, but once they get it organised, moving stuff around the country isn't that difficult.
That's a good point.
Once they get it organised,
yeah,
bang, they can move it around the country very, very quickly. So,
do you know the problem though, John, is that it's not the only issue, and I think that's where it comes with the whole thing with leaving the EU. It's if it was just about this, fine, but this all of it all seems like a precursor to the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. So that's the issue that the UK's really got, is that it's probably about to hit some pretty tough times because of Brexit.
Yeah,
which was inevitable.
Yeah, I'll hopefully I'll be back next year and I'll catch up in Brighton. But that's only just to come back to sort stuff out in the UK. There's no.
Just before you launch the now world famous in this room quiz.
You're very great. Lunchtime.
Yeah, that's right. Great answers, Lewis. Lewis answered that question with those of you who can't see and aren't in the room. He's actually expecting West Texas to drop because there is a pattern that suggests that it always drops after positive inventory, which I think we had yesterday or the day before. I can't remember when. And it always rises. Always is a bad word, but it rises often. I'll paraphrase, before inventory. 7 out of 8, 7 or 8 out of 10 times.
Right.
That's pretty high. So also read articles saying that current oil price is too high for recovering market inflation, a concern to the analysts. Interesting. Thanks, mate.
Yeah, I see. Yeah, crude oil inventories. Well, the thing is, in a way, inventories are at 4.6 million, coming from negative 3.5 million. So it makes sense that it drops after a 4.6 million rise.
Supplies increase.
Yeah. Huge increase in supply. So inevitably the price drops. That's interesting, mate. That is interesting.
Righto, QM.
Right. Okay. Bang. An easy one to start with. Which ceiling is about to get hit?
Oh, nice.
Yes. Yes. I don't think it makes much.
Well, set the wrong person.
Yeah. Well. I don't think it makes much. I've got an uncle that lives in California, and he says it's the same old, same old. It just doesn't change.
Yeah.
Next one. Who is earning 20% by spinning the wheel? This is a classic. Jeff, you're going to love this.
Oh,
Okay.
This even had my wife laughing.
by spinning the wheel.
I looked at the story and then I just reached for the bar pretty quick and just had a laugh. Not the truck drivers. No, it's not. Elon Musk. No. This is.
I've got to put an answer. I've got to put something.
You might get the closest, Jeff.
Spinning the wheel. That's got to be cryptic. It's got to be something to
It's
do
a little
with.
bit cryptic.
Uh,
I just thought we needed a bit of humour after everybody getting slapped about by,
Spinning the wheel.
Yeah.
I know you got me. I've gone for Donald Trump, but
Well, it might be his way of trading. Mr. Cox.
who?
They've got this little hamster.
Okay.
They've got him in a
Right.
cage. He's in the wheel. He's spinning round, and when he stops, they've got it hooked up to the cryptos. Okay, we're going to do that one, and then there's two little tunnels, sell and buy, and he goes down one or the other, and then they place the trade, and apparently he was up 19%.
no way.
Straight up.
Gary, you're pretty close. Maybe it is Shukri in a
I just thought, okay, yeah. A bit of humour.
It's I mean, if you need any more evidence, the markets are random. I mean, it's
Yeah.
right there, right?
Which company wants to put another robot in your home?
Oh, I know this one.
yeah.
Yeah, just to make
I
sure
do.
that you. Is Paul saying, "Oh my God," to the robots or to the hamster? Yeah, I'm going to get my hamster. Yes, Amazon. They're coming in. They want to make sure that you're ordering enough stuff that you don't need.
Was it $1,000 for Astro?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
I just.
So what does Astro do? It looks like he vacuum cleaner. What's he
Oh,
do?
that'd be great.
He's just going to he's going to check that you're ordering enough stuff from Amazon.
Oh, seriously? Come on.
No, apparently it's security and a bit of this and that. I'm.
But
Is
the
he
question
armed?
is, why would you spend $1,000 on something that is benefiting them?
Yeah, exactly.
Why aren't they giving these out?
It's cheaper than just get a baseball bat. They're up there.
What else does he do though, John? He must do something. I mean, I didn't
think
read.
he does. I think it's going to be probably doing some lights, maybe security,
Okay.
that sort of thing.
Okay.
There'll be
I
little
like how
sounds
they-
while you.
I
There'll be
think
little sounds while you sleep. Oh, Amazon. Oh, Amazon.
Yeah.
it's,
I kind of like the way that he's pictured on a wooden floor. I mean, what happens if you got a deep pile part of carpet because you live in a pretty cold place?
or children.
Or children. And how's he going to get up the stairs?
No stairs. The reason I threw it in is I am a bit of a geek, and over the 12 years I've watched advertising change. When you're in the car, you used to just get a piece of paper, and then you get a billboard, and then you got the neon lights ones change, and now you get there, and they're changing all the time, and they're starting to introduce them that they'll look at your car and change the advert for what you're driving.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
that's
Look
why I threw the robot in. I just
It's
thought
Is it Born Identity, or was it something Minority? There was a film, wasn't there, where they had all these adverts flashing for different people as they walked into a mall.
yeah.
There's been lots of those.
Paul
One
said
was-
about it checks on your pets, but how? What does it do? To stick a thermometer up its ass?
It checks that the pet's there, but I don't. I remember my dog. It would probably just give it a slap.
What does it mean check on? What do you mean check on the pets though?
Check that the pet is there. I can't.
Oh, it's there. Okay. All right.
I mean, a cat spends most of its time doing whatever it wants anyway. So.
But where are you expecting your pet to be?
Yeah.
Why do you need a robot when you close the door in the day to sort of say, yeah, your pet's
And
doing?
it's on the inside. You've got a cat, and it does whatever it wants.
Yeah.
Some good news, maybe.
Okay.
Which boxing star just retired to focus on becoming president.
Oh God, this is good. Okay. Is it?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Oh, was it? Oh,
I'm
okay.
definitely
I was
in.
going to go for his normal competitor.
I don't know any.
Swea's got Swea's in there. Paul has got it as well.
He's quite a respected character, isn't he, Manny Pacquiao?
He is, yeah. Yeah. Hopefully, this will be the man that might be able to, bring some sanity.
Do you think he'll get in? I mean, is that the way that
there's a good chance. There's a good chance.
Well, great question, mate. I like that one a lot.
Yeah, I'm all for it. He's a man of the people. So
is he? Okay.
I'm all for it. For me, anyway, it's good. Which neighbour of China is also feeling the weight of bad debt in its banking system? I was a bit of a geek again and had a little look, and I thought, oh, that's not particularly good either.
Okay. Let's say.
Jeff is right on the G&T.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, a lot of problems out there, right?
Got a lot of banks with a lot of dodgy cash.
Lots of problems out there.
Oh, India, man. How'd you like to be there?
No.
You think not, mate?
Yeah, no, I've been there, mate. Northern India. Wow, what a place. I mean, you shake your head. Really. I don't know how they do it.
Really?
So hot. So hot.
So hot.
So many people.
Yeah.
COVID, man.
Yeah.
Okay. Why might your tomato look like a pumpkin in the UK, or it might be about to? They are orange. No. They are true. They are true. Yeah. Or maybe I could have worded this a little easier.
No, that's all right. Oh no, to be honest, that was a complete guess.
This is to do with Brexit. This is a little bit like yeah, I come from the countryside. I was born in a place called Shropshire, much went like. So this was a bit worrying towards me. I wanted to go to Taj Mahal to complete no. Modified food on the way.
That was close.
I did hear about this. Yeah, I did hear about this.
This is a little bit like
for gene-edited crops. Yeah, I heard about this stuff, and I see, just a catalogue of stuff going on right now. But I was thinking about it yesterday, and I was thinking the big problem for the UK is that it doesn't do anything. It doesn't do anything specific. If you want certain items, you don't go. Tell you where we need to go. We need to go to Britain for that. It's got no where we were still a bit of a powerhouse when we initially joined the EU. I know we were economically not in a great place. We still had something. We still had something to give and something to offer that nobody else seemed to offer. But I don't really know what the UK, if the negotiation comes back up again in a decade, what it's going to be. Potentially a tax haven on the edges of the EU. Well, that's not a reason to kind of say, we can offer you this. So they need to get, they really do need to get their house in order about what it is that we are going to manufacture or what's our service that we're going to provide. We're going to continue to enjoy, I think we're the 5th largest economy currently, maybe 6th now, I don't know. But if we're going to continue to enjoy that status of being, in and around the top 5, then it's got to get itself together. It really does.
What do you got? Formula 1 racing, engineering? I mean, it's not much, but...
No, I mean, even that though, mate. I mean, Formula 1 racing is really for a specific class of society.
You overpriced football players.
Yeah. Well, I mean, certainly, something to do with sport could be, but even that seems to kind of go in cycles. I remember when Italy was the hot place to be, and then it was Spain, and now it's the UK currently, but it won't last.
It's not a
Like everything else, mate. Nothing does.
Yeah, exactly. I really don't know what the UK is going to offer that is so unique, unless it gets its house in order. I think there's things it can offer, but it just doesn't seem to be pushing towards those things.
no.
Steroids. I'm going to give myself half a point.
The steroids. You should. It's good. Food on steroids. I'm going to say. I know. This is an easy one, I think. You could call that a little bit. Yeah, it's still in use. The world's oldest currency. I have used this question before, way back in quiz number 3 or 4, I think. Gold. But yes, but all 3 of those I would take as correct answers.
Okay.
Just to sort of lighten the mood, but the actual it is the British pound.
Oh, well done, Sween.
Is the but yes, gold definitely, and Jeff, yes, I can't.
I know what came first, mate.
Yeah. Just ask Mark Anthony. He did it. Okay. This is the musical question.
Oh.
But I can play the music to give you a hint.
Yeah, go on, do that. Oh, right. Very nice, mate. Very nice.
Yeah, you're very kind. Yes, Germany, where they still make things.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I used to live in Germany back in the 80s, and they still make these.
Oh, do you know, mate? Do you know, Germany's one country I would consider moving to.
Yeah, I've got a few friends that
I'd have to check their climate, but yeah.
It's great place. Depends where you want it. The south is better than the north.
Yeah.
Just simply because of it gets nice sunny weather, and you get the snow.
You get the snow?
You get the snow. You get the snow in the south. You get some skiing.
Oh, okay. All right.
The music scene is good.
Okay.
The food is excellent.
Okay, you're talking me around.
Some parts of the south for the culture and the great things you can do are a little bit like Brighton.
Okay.
Because I like Brighton as well. Because I used to live.
Yeah.
I used to work in a private school just around the corner, just outside Helsham.
Oh, okay.
For about 10 years.
That'd be getting a bit expensive for you blokes, wouldn't it? Now move to Germany.
I don't know, mate. I mean, UK properties are still pretty hot, but I'm not sure. But there's a lot of rental there, isn't there? I mean, what I'd probably do is
more rental in Germany.
Yeah, I'd keep my place in Brighton and just leave the door open for that, and then maybe use the money to go and find a place to rent over there.
Yeah,
there you go.
Portsmouth, but
that'd be an option. Thank you, mate. Well, that was a good quiz. I'm not sure who ended up winning that. It was probably either Gary or Swee.
Yeah.
Swee's usually pretty on top of stuff. Paul P is Pomato answer. Might have to get
I wasn't quite sure how to word the question.
Not Gary. Gary said not Gary. Okay, well, then it's Swee. I think it's Swee. Swee probably is the queen of the quiz, really. How did you get on, Jeff?
I think Gary. No, I think I got 2.5.
2.5.
Pretty poor this week.
Like it's different than any other week.
Shut up.
I didn't do particularly well.
I thought you won last week, Jeff.
How can you not count sex as the first bloody currency? I should get 5 points.
I think I only got 2.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I got 3 actually. I got 3. I
Three.
think you probably did. I think you must have got at least 3 as well, Jeff. You had debt, did you? No, maybe you didn't answer question 1. Oh, you did. Yeah. I think it's pretty much there. I'd say Swee's probably going to be crowned the winner.
Nothing.
Okay, well, we're close to wrapping up, John. But anything you want to say or look at or
No,
question?
I've got 1 trade on the board. That's it. I've been in it for probably a week now. 4, 5 days, 6 days. 6,
Oh, well
7
done.
days.
What's the trade?
Oz New Zealand long.
Oh, okay.
And it was a very small trade. There's only it was a 0.02. I've already taken my some profit. And
Nice.
Stops are underneath.
Yeah, great week. Positive every day.
Yeah,
Good.
the daily underneath yesterday's daily bar. That's where my stop is.
Really good. Yes, I
Yeah, nice.
like it.
Like
it. And what promoted that trade for you?
This was the sort of same reason. I was looking at the Aussie, the pound with the New Zealand dollar. If things start opening up and people start moving around again and things, I just don't think the New Zealand dollar can stay as strong because people won't be able to go there. That was one of my reasons for going in.
Yeah, I looked at the numbers last week for New Zealand, and it suggested it would be the weakest currency this week.
Yeah.
COT data was with it, seasonality was with it, and actually it's suffering. I don't know if it's the weakest currency across the board, but it did look like it would be the one to potentially suffer the most, and it's playing out currently.
Let me answer that question for you.
Yeah, what's the weakest one currently?
This week, currently the weakest currency. No, I just lost the bloody screen. Come back here. Forex performance.
And I'll tell you that the fundamental study I did suggested that the
Kiwi, mate.
The Kiwi's the weakest. Okay, that's good.
You were bang on. Yep.
It also suggested the euro would be the strongest, and I don't think that was accurate.
Yeah, you've got the dollar, the CAD, and the Aussie in front of it.
Okay, so it's about midway.
Yeah, just a little bit better than midway.
Just a little bit better than midway. Okay, well that's not so bad. But that's great, mate. That's really good. So, was it a technical trade as well, John?
Yeah, I got in on a. Sorry, I was going to answer somebody's question. I got in on a. What am I doing? Looking at the wrong thing. On a 4-hour bar. On the 24th.
On the 24th. Wow. Okay.
I mean, I took a small risk. I put a stop loss in, and I've been watching it in a range. I could be wrong, and I could be told off. And if there's a like a big green on the 20th, there's a 4-hour bar. And I looked at that, and nothing was. It wasn't. Things were not going below it. Things were not going above it. I thought, okay, let's be brave. That could be a range, but if I put my stops below that, and it's sort of off its crept.
Good job, mate.
Yeah,
Good job.
You want to keep that in your memory banks, because when you do get a bottom or a top that gives you a massive potential reversal bar, and you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22 bars inside that.
Yeah,
you know something's going to happen.
It's the first time I've had the guts to sort of think, right, okay, let's try.
I like it, mate.
Tight. But the week, the month has been very good. It's not been. This is not to do with winning. It's the case of stopping being an idiot and realizing that the trade is separate from all the work. I still don't know how to explain it to somebody. If somebody said about trading, I still don't know how to explain what I've learned. Is that that's the trade, and everything else you do is obviously it backs it up, but it's separate. I still don't, and I've got a degree in psychology. I still wouldn't know how to explain that.
Yeah, it's tricky, mate. I think because I don't think that's because it's not something that can be explained. I think it's maybe the type of trader you are, because I'm quite similar to that. You know, I don't think I could absolutely put my finger on why I make some of the decisions I make. In a lot of ways, I kind of put it down to maths in a way. I'd say, you know, mathematically, as long as I do enough of this, the percentage chance of it working out, which I suppose every sort of strategy is like that, but because you probably sort of like have a little bit of looseness with the strategy. I don't know whether you follow it, you know, absolutely directly or not, but I don't, you know, I don't follow a strategy to the absolute letter.
I think the more you trade, the less likely you are to have a strategy as such anyway. It's more an instinct. It becomes an instinct.
Yeah, I think that's right, mate. And it's just finding something that you're comfortable settling with, isn't it? Saying, look, that's where I'm going to settle. You know, this happens more than this, and as long as you manage the money, then you're okay. That's usually the key.
Yeah.
If you manage the money, you manage your psychology. That's the way I kind of end up seeing it.
So from that point of view, it's been good. I got the process. You know, God, I'd love to be able to explain it to people. Saying, yeah, it's easy to click the button.
Yeah.
But once that button's clicked, that little trade is gone swimming off down the river. You've got no control over it unless unless you want to cut it short or move your bits. But other than that, you've made the decision to go in. As long as you've done a lot of things beforehand.
Yeah.
It seems to, I don't know. Anyway, the month has been very good. So, gentlemen, you have done your work well.
Oh, okay.
No, you have. But most people won't be. I'm very new to this. I've only done it for 16 months.
Yeah.
And then you realise, actually, if you're listening to people who are doing it and have done it for a long time, and every now and again they will say something and you go, oh, right, okay. Yeah.
There's a little nugget. I get it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is, please don't moan at me. I'm going to say, got to choose the words carefully. You two are both willing to tell us about things when it doesn't go right.
Well, I'm in one right now.
I know, but that in itself is priceless.
Yeah.
Because you think, well, they've been doing it for such a long time. If it goes wrong for them occasionally, you know, get outside and grow up and sort it out.
Well, do you know, the thing is, mate, I think that one of the keys to it all as well is to sort of say, you know, it does go wrong. So it's not about whether it's going to go wrong. It's how you're going to fix it up when it does. Because it does go wrong. It is, and it's not, do you know, and some of it isn't the strategy. I you know, nothing that I've done this week has been down to the strategy not working. It's been 100% down to not being in the right head when I sat down at the market. I've been way too fuzzy. And we're human, so that's going to happen. You know, sometimes you're going to sit down at your desk and you're just going to perform badly. But the key is, I think anyway, is to look at it and go, one of the biggest things that I learned as I was going was that one mistake compounds if you allow it to. So if you can stop the mistake compounding, because you're going to make mistakes, if you can stop the mistake compounding, then you'll be in much better shape. So now I'm looking at it, I'm just going, right, okay, let's stop all the fuzziness. I woke up really early this morning to kind of get my plan together. And you know, I've got my plan in place now. It can change as we go, but I've got my plan in place and it will be fine. You know, and if it's not fine, it'll be fine next time. It's no big deal. But you know, that's just trading, isn't it? It's trading, things go wrong, and it's not necessarily, as I say, because of the strategy. I think we sometimes just have to accept that we are underperforming. And I've just had
the dunces had on last week. Remember?
I wish you could pass it to me through the screen, mate.
It's very handy.
I think I
it's not far away.
Yeah, and you know, the mistake I made actually only happened yesterday, because what for me, and this is probably, I'm probably telling you this because it's I'm on the psychology, the psychologist's couch. Yeah, all this stuff that happened wasn't a problem, but yesterday when the price was down here, I hit profit. I'd been kind of done. But then, and that's the point I should close. That's where my strategy is kind of, I allowed myself to get caught up by saying this could go lower because of my overall view, and I'm changing my strategy to longer term, which I shouldn't do. What I should do is, as soon as I'm in profit, then I go back to doing the short-term things. That's my rule. I only go long-term when I need to fix things up. I didn't need to fix up yesterday. I was done, but I allowed it to go, and then this happened. So I'm now back to
You're
fix it back
slave
up
unto
again.
yourself again.
Oh, mate,
I have done that so many times.
Fuzzy, see, fuzzy, not. And do you know what it also comes down to, mate? I know it's a terrible word to use in this sort of situation, but it is kind of the case. You kind of get greedy, you kind of get sort of like that thing where you think, I want to make the most out of this, rather than just going, my whole thing is chip away, chip away, chip away, and as soon as you kind of allow that, greed is the wrong word in a way, because it's not about greed, because we're all in this to make money. But it's chasing something more than you need, at that time.
Look that up in the dictionary. It'll be spelt GREED.
Okay, so I got greedy, and I'm now being punished for my greed.
Correct.
So what? Lesson learned.
I had a trade in Euro USD on the 1 hour candle.
I don't know.
It's just formed. Yeah, but I took it out. I thought, bang, this isn't going to do it. This isn't going to go. So I thought, I'm not going to risk anything.
Are you going short or long?
I was going long, but to me, it doesn't look like it's moving.
Oh, tough call to go long there.
Yeah. So the thing is, the old version of me would have said, okay, let's just leave it in. The new version is giving it, that's going nowhere.
You know what? I think your direction's 100% right. I think it'll test the daily pivot.
Yeah.
But thinking and actually making money out of it, two different things.
Yes. So
a channel there.
Discretion, better part of valor. Take it out, leave it. I'm safe in the one trade I've got on, and then I'm going to go to the fridge for a beer.
Yeah, I don't know if you've been in the show all week, but since Monday I've been looking for a long euro dollar. And the setup still hasn't come, but it's getting there.
It does look pretty good.
If I miss it, I'll be pissed off. But things happen like that.
Showtime in the afternoon on the Monday, the Tuesday, and the Wednesday are for the last month have been my appointments for my shoulder. Now it moves to a couple of times a week in the morning, so I can get back to normal.
Oh, good stuff, mate. What? I quite like that. Quite like that euro dollar. Okay.
Look, the dollar index is saying exactly the same thing, mate.
Yeah. So
it's nearly time. It's very, very close.
And I thought, right, okay, it's the end of the month, it's the end of the quarter. Do you really want to be playing? Look at the computer in the American market. No, right, don't.
Yeah, well, that's the other thing, isn't it? Yeah, the end of the quarter.
Yeah, I'll just take a gentle jog to the fridge.
Yeah, you gotta take a. You know what, mate? I think that's really good, and we do have to recognise where we are in the year as well. Every time we are about to start a new quarter, and there does tend to be a bit of a different mood around the market when we head into a new period, and you can see that right down to the 5-minute chart. When you enter a new period, then there's new decisions to be made. So, what happens in the next quarter is going to be significant. It's going to be quite interesting.
We're actually in the quarter.
What's that, mate?
Aren't we? September, October, November.
No, October, November, December.
October, November. Okay.
Yeah.
Tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll be in it. We'll be in it tomorrow.
And daylight saving time for Aussies as of Sunday, which I'll just remind you, makes absolutely no difference to the time that this show starts.
Yeah.
The show will start at 7:55 UK time, as it always does. But for us Aussies, that will be at 17:55, so 5:55 instead of 4:55 in the afternoon. That's as of Monday. But no one else should be affected by that.
No, so the show won't change for another month. I think it's 31st.
Yeah, that's right. First week of November.
First week of November. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Okay, then. Well, let's wrap it up then, guys. Thanks so much, John. Great quiz. Enjoyed it, mate. Thanks to the guys in the room for taking part. I think, Swee, you are the queen yet again this week. Jeff, I don't think I'm not sure. I think you beat me last week, but I think I might have pipped you this week. So
You got me.
I think I got you. So thanks, guys, for all your participation for the week in your company. Thank you to Angel, as always, for looking after us. Thank you to you, buddy. And I will see you on Monday, and everybody else see you Monday as well. Have a great weekend, guys.
Everything he said. See ya. Bye-bye for now.